Hey guys, so we have been working on rounding in math. So let's talk for just a second about what it means to round. So whenever we are rounding a number, we're changing it so that it's just a little bit easier for us to use and to work with, okay? So whenever we round, we have our rounding heel. Okay, let me change my marker. All right, so we've got our rounding heel. Now at the very top of my rounding heel, I have 5, okay? 5 is going to be my middle point. Now, if a number comes after 5, so if it is 6, 7, 8, or 9, I am going to round up. Okay, so I round up. If it is below 5, so if it's 4, 3, 2, or 1, I'm going to round down. Okay, so if it comes after 5, I round up, and if it comes before 5, I round down. All right, so let's take a look at an example on our additional practice page. Okay, so this is your work for today. So let's go ahead and do numbers 1 and 2 together. So number 1, it says round 437 to the nearest 10. Okay, so I am rounding my tens place. So first of all, let's find which number is in our tens place. Well, I have a 3 in my tens place in the number 437. So because I'm rounding to the nearest 10, let's come over here to the side and let's count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 100. Okay, so I've counted by tens. I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So I want you to make sure that you're writing this out because this is going to make this easier for us to round. Okay, so I'm rounding to the nearest 10, and I have a 3 in my tens place. Well, I know that 3 tens equals 30. So I know that 437 is going to come between 430 and 440. Okay, so I've labeled my number line. So now I've got my number line labeled, and I'm going to find my middle point. Well, what is a doubles fact for 10? 5 plus 5 is 10. So I know that 5 is going to be in the middle. So I'm going to have 435. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill in the rest of our number line. I'm going to have 431, 432, 433, 444, 34, 435, 436, 437, 438, 439, and then 440. So I've got my number line labeled. So now let's find our number and let's put it on the number line. So I've got 437, and I am going to put a dot on 437. Okay, so I've got my dot. So let's look back at our middle point. Our middle point was 435. And if you'll look back at your rounding heel, if a number comes after 5, I'm rounding up. So our number was 437. So I'm going to round up to 440. Okay, so 437, when I'm rounding to the tens place, it rounds up to 440. All right, so let's do another one together. Let's do number 2. Number 2 says to round 840 to the nearest hundreds place. Okay, so I'm rounding to the hundreds place this time. So let's go ahead and let's circle our number in the hundreds place. I have an 8. Okay, so to make it easier for us to round, let's count by hundreds. So I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and then 1,000. Okay, so I have an 8 in my hundreds place. So I know that 800 equals 800, okay? So I know that 840 is going to come between 800 and what's my next 100? 900, okay? So I've got my number line labeled, so let's find our middle point. So my middle point is going to be 850. Okay, so I've got my middle point label. So now let's go ahead and let's fill out the rest of our number line. So when I'm rounding by the hundreds place, I'm going to count by tens to fill this out. So I'm going to have 810, 820, 830, 840, 850 is my middle point, 860, 870, 880, 890, and then 900. Okay, so let's see. I'm rounding 840 to the nearest hundred. So let's go ahead and mark 840 on our number line. So I'm going to put a dot at 840. All right, my middle point was 850. So does 840 come before or after 850? It comes before. So that means if a number comes before 5, remember I'm rounding down. So 840 is going to round down to 800. Okay, so now you are going to complete the rest of the additional practice page, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to your teacher.